afternoon sometime, baby. Okay. In case he sees something not biting his head off.
Headphones are kind of flopping down here. Let me hold on a second. Let me adjust my lighting. Let's see. It's this side. It's kind of. That's better. Yeah. I have good lighting. Yeah, I had to move it from one screen to another because the monitor that I use to put the OBS on is not a very good monitor. It's kind of not the best. So I want to see what it looks like in a good monitor before I get started. Anyway, if you're out there listening, congratulations. Thanks for waiting. And if you find this later, well, I'm always usually on about 1 o'clock on every other Monday. So I'd like to show off something I just received. I got some Crow T Robot and some Tom Servo socks from the MST3K store. They're on sale. I haven't got my masks yet. I've ordered from various places, but I'm not worried. I'm sure there'll be a second wave of this come fall, and that's when I'll probably get the masks. Anyway, let's start off with the show. The sci-fi edition this time will probably be pretty swift, and the comic book edition actually has the bulk of the news today. But it is what it is. You make do with what you have. So let's start recording. Make sure my buttons are set here. All right. Tonight, Pike rides again. The Mandalorian gets some new actors, and we remember 2 funny men. All that and more on the sci-fi edition of Multiverse tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight, episode number 76. Now, I'd like to start out saying, things are going pretty okay here in Kansas. The county I'm in, hasn't had any COVID-19 cases. We're one of the few counties in Kansas. Oddly enough, we're between 2 counties that have a lot of them. Ford County, out in western Kansas, where all the meatpacking plants are, and Sedgwick County, which has Wichita, which is the largest metropolitan area in the state. So, oddly enough, we have none. Of course, I choose to believe that there's probably some out there that no one knows about. Anyway, restrictions are starting to lift a little. They've taken the lid off very slowly. But frankly, not enough people are wearing masks for my taste. People, until we have a vaccine or a cure for this, we need to ensure that we don't spread anything around. So, wearing masks, even though it doesn't seem like anyone around you is sick, is still essential until we have this completely contained. Wait until Pandora's box is closed before you take your hand off. You know. Now, I'd like to give a special shout out to the guys over at Pop Goes the Culture. They're allowing me to boost the signal, so to speak, and get this out in front of more people. So, thanks, guys. Now, let's get on with the news. And we begin Star Trek news with, the big news that has come out in the past couple days. The Adventures of Anson Mount's Captain Pike won't end with Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. CBS All Access has announced that it has ordered Star Trek Strange New Worlds straight to series. Now, this show will follow Pike and the crew of the Enterprise in the decade before Captain Kirk officially took the reins of the NCC 1701. Now, returning will, of course, be Anson Mount as Pike, Rebecca Romaine as Una, aka Number 1, and Ethan Peck as Mr. Spock. Now, Akiva Goldsman will be writing the series premiere based on a story he co-wrote with Alex Kurtzman and Jenny Lumet. Goldsman, Kurtzman, and Lumet. That's a hard name. That'd even be a hard name if they were a law firm. Will serve as the main executive producers, with Henry Alonzo Myers, Heather Caden, Rod Roddenberry, and Trevor Roth also serving as executive producers, and Aaron Byers, Alika Cooper, and Davey Perez as co-executive producers. Yeah, again, it's Star Trek by committee, and I still don't quite understand that, but it is what it is. Akiva Goldsman in the statement said, quote, "This is a dream come true, literally. I have imagined myself on the bridge of the Enterprise since the 1970s. I'm honored to be a part of this continuing journey along with Alex Henry and the fine folks at CBS," unquote. This makes the 5th new Star Trek series, joining Discovery, Picard, Short Treks, and Lower Decks. There are a couple more still in development, including a Nickelodeon series and a Section 31 series. CBS All Access will be getting a makeover with a new name. In a first quarter earnings call with investors, Viacom CBS CEO Bob Bakish said that the rebranding will happen, quote, "as soon as CBS All Access expands to incorporate more of the company's cable brands and library programming. The streaming service already incorporates content from CBS and Paramount, but soon the service will bring in content from Viacom CBS's cable brands like Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, BET, Smithsonian, MTV, and Paramount Network. No definitive details on when a name change might be affected or when we'll get some more Trek content. Where's that Lower Decks series?" Now, there's no specific word on when the Lower Decks series will arrive, and in an interview with Inverse.com, showrunner Mike McMahon said that, quote, "I can't give you a specific answer on when that's coming out, but we're still working on it, and we're on track for when we have planned, which is this year," unquote. Now, well, I guess that's something. While we wait, we do have his other show, Solar Opposites, on Hulu, and if you have Hulu, go out and see it. It's very funny. It's kind of that Rick and Morty vibe, this time with just aliens that are hanging out on Earth. Now, let's go on to another vessel. Star Trek Voyager has a new novel coming out this October, in To Lose the Earth. Quote, "As the crew of the Full Circle Fleet works to determine the fate of their lost ship, the Galen, a struggle for survival begins at the far edge of the galaxy. New revelations about Species 001, the race that built the biodomes that first drew the fleet to investigate planet DK1116, force Admiral Catherine Janeway to risk everything to learn the truth, unquote. This book is written by Kirsten Beyer. I haven't really been reading the Star Trek novels. Has they've gotten more serialized? I just don't have that kind of time on my hands. But I hear they're pretty good. You know, so I guess someone should check it out. If you want to check it out and write a review, please send it in Multiverse Tonight at multiversetonight.com. Anyway, Patrick Stewart is echoing the hope for more Next Generation cast appearances in future episodes of Picard, telling Gold Derby, quote, "In meetings, when we talked about bringing in members of the Next Generation crew, that was one of the things I was most passionate about, which was not only should Picard have changed during the 18 years that had passed, but the same has to be applied to Counselor Troy, to Commander Riker, to whoever it is. And by the way, I am very hopeful we will see more of the Next Generation crew before we say goodbye to Picard. And that is just what they did, and there's no better example than that episode." Unquote. I really do hope. I really want to see just Wesley show up as the Traveler. "Picard, what are you doing?" "Shut up, Wesley." Anyway, Star Trek Online has announced the Year of the Klingon, with a new major multi-part 24/11 story focused on the Klingons. Existing Klingon content will also be getting a much-needed overhaul. In a post on the STO website, quote, "As part of this long-planned face of the game-changing story, we're taking a little time to focus on our most honorable allies. We love our Klingon content. Who doesn't love a story that involves descending into Grethor and fighting a god? But a lot of it is old. It doesn't contain the technical improvements we've made to the game over the years. So we're spending time and resources to give these pieces of content visual and gameplay facelifts. Over the next 12 months, maybe more, you'll see new Klingon character models for some of our classic characters like Jempak, updated skins for the classic Klingon ships like the Bird of Prey, new environments, and cutscenes to refresh this old but beloved content," unquote. Well, I'm grateful to see that. I mean, they really need some new content at the moment. I'm getting bored. I love the game dearly. I'm a lifetime member, but playing the same thing over and over again just gets repetitive. Unless it's Animal Crossing. I love that game to death. Anyway, let's go on to the Star Wars news. Mem streamer, I actually don't know. How did you manage to have your audio play in one headphone and not stream this in mono? I don't know. I'm using Streamlabs OBS to stream this out, and then goes through, Restream.io. So, maybe that's something I should look into. Thanks for telling me that. Anyway. Let's start Star Wars news with happy anniversary to The Empire Strikes Back. The arguably best part of the original trilogy turns 40 this week. It opened in theaters on May 21st, 1980. Made on a budget of $18 million, it went on to gross $547.9 million by the end of its run. It was re-released with a special edition back in 1997. Which I think is the only time I've actually seen it in theaters. Yeah. I enjoyed the special edition as much as the original edition. Sue me. The Mandalorian will have a visit from the original man in the Mandalorian armor, Boba Fett. The bounty hunter will be making an appearance in the second season of the hit Disney Plus series, with Boba being played by Tamara Morrison, who portrayed Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. Also, reportedly cast for Season 2 is Katie Sackhoff. According to SlashFilm.com, Katie will be appearing as Mandalorian leader Bo-Katan Kryze, who Katie has voiced in both the Clone Wars and Rebels animated series. According to the site, Sokoff and Lucasfilm are keeping the news under wraps. Well, not very tightly, though. Also cast is actor Timothy Oliphant. His character is completely unknown at this time. So, well, I guess there's something to be held under wraps. Dave Filoni will be returning to the director's chair for The Mandalorian's second season. Filoni, who also serves as executive producer, directed the first and fifth episodes of the first season, will be directing just one episode this season. Speaking with Deadline, he said, quote, "I just did one episode this coming season. I'm really excited about it. I wrote it and directed it, so you know that'll be a fun thing for me. And I've been learning from Jon Favreau. He's a great mentor. You know, to be in that situation in a live-action show with someone like him and a fantastic team of people, it's a really fortunate place for me to land because you're with people that can really help you and realize the things that you're trying to do story-wise," unquote. Now, let's go on to the geek news. CBS has picked up the Silence of the Lambs sequel series Clarice. Now, Clarice will follow Agent Starling 6 months after the events of the movie have taken place. Here's what the official press release says, quote, "Clarice, from acclaimed executive producers Alex Kurtzman and Jenny Lumet, and starring Rebecca Breeds from Pretty Little Liars in the title role, is a deep dive into the untold personal story of brilliant and vulnerable FBI agent Clarice Starling as she returns to the field in 1993, 6 months after the events of The Silence of the Lambs. Cal Penn, Nick Sandow, Michael Kudlitz, Lucia de Oliveira, and Devin A. Tyler also star. Alex Kurtzman, Jenny Lumet, and Heather Kadeen are executive producers for MGM Television and CBS Television Studios in association with Secret Hideout. Aaron Byers is a co-executive producer," unquote. Not the first time the Hannibal story events have been touched upon, of course. NBC did Hannibal, which took place in and around the events of the first novel in the Hannibal series, Red Dragon. Stephen King's 2014 novel, Revival, will be getting a big screen adaptation from Mike Flanagan and Trevor Macy, the guys behind last year's Dr. Sleep adaptation. Flanagan is writing the script and might possibly direct. The novel centers around the relationship between a heroin-addicted musician and a dubious minister with an unknown agenda. No word on when and if, any further details on that. Jerry Bruckheimer is bringing back National Treasure, this time for TV. If it's given a go, it would be to Disney+. Now, Mr. Bruckheimer told Collider, quote, "We're certainly working on one National Treasure for streaming, and we're working on one for the big screen. Hopefully they'll both come together, and we'll bring you another National Treasure. But they're both very active. The one for Disney Plus is a much younger cast. It's the same concept, but a young cast. The one for theatrical would be the same cast," unquote. He went on to tell Collider that the pilot script and season outline have been presented to Disney Plus. So if the TV series goes forward, doesn't look like we'll get Nicolas Cage unless there's a cameo in there. So this sounds either like a prequel series or maybe a total reimagining. So which would you rather see? Would you rather see a reimagined National Treasure on Disney Plus, or would you rather see National Treasure 3 with Nicolas Cage? That's the $50,000 question. If I had $50,000. A Disney Plus series based on the Percy Jackson series of books is currently in the early stages of development, according to author Rick Riordan. In a statement, he said, quote, "Hey, Percy Jackson fans. For the past decade, you've worked hard to champion a faithful on-screen adaptation of Percy Jackson's world. Some of you have even suggested it would be a great series for Disney+. We couldn't agree more. We can't say much more at this stage, but we are very excited about the idea of a live action series of the highest quality following the storyline of the original Percy Jackson 5-book series, starting with The Lightning Thief in Season 1. Rest assured that Becky, his wife, and I will be involved in person with every aspect of the show. There will be much more news in the future, but for now, we have a lot of work to do. Buckle up, demigods. It's going to be a fantastic, exciting ride. Unquote. You know, hopefully, whatever series develops will have a much better reception than the movie got. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for that movie. Now, Disney Plus is playing juggling here and moving around the release dates of some big movies. Avengers: Infinity War is coming to Disney Plus on June 26th. Solo: A Star Wars Story is coming on July 10th, and Ant-Man and the Wasp will debut on Disney Plus on August 14th. Now, to something everyone wants to see, Disney Plus has announced that a filmed production of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton will hit the streamer on July 3rd, over a year before it was slated to be released to theaters. In a statement, Mr. Miranda said, quote, "I'm so proud of how beautifully Tommy Kail has brought Hamilton to the screen. He's given everyone who watches this film the best seat in the house. I'm so grateful to Disney and Disney Plus for reimagining and moving up our release to July 4th weekend of this year. In light of the world turning upside down, I'm so grateful to all the fans who asked for this, and I'm so glad that we're able to make it happen. I'm so proud of this show. I can't wait for you to see it." Unquote. Now, Disney paid $75 million for the rights to this filmed rendition, and there are still plans for a fully produced big screen version, but that's not in the immediate future. That's somewhere, probably midway on their deck of projects. Now, let's close out this podcast remembering those who have left us in the past couple of weeks or so. First off, Fred Willard passed away on May 15th from natural causes. Fred was popular for acting as an affable but goofy character, and he has more than 311 acting credits to his name, appearing in everything from TV shows like Get Smart, Laverne and Shirley, Fernwood Tonight, America Tonight, The Love Boat, Fame, Married with Children, Roseanne, Sister Sister, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, Mad About You, Hercules, The Simpsons, King of the Hill, Modern Family, Family Guy, and much, much more. His last TV role will be on the series Space Force. He starred in such movies as Silver Streak, Fun with Dick and Jane, This Is Spinal Tap, Waiting for Guffman, Idle Hands, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, Best in Show, for which he was nominated for 5 awards, winning 2. He also was in A Mighty Wind, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Wall-E, Mascots, and many, many more. His final film role in 2018's The Bobby Roberts Project. He is survived by his daughter and grandson. He was 86 years old. We also would like to remember Jerry Stiller, comic and father of Ben Stiller. He was half of the husband and wife comedy team of Stiller and Mara, and portrayed Frank Costanza's dad on Seinfeld and the dad on The King of Queens. He also got to act with his son in films like Zoolander, Zoolander 2, and The Heartbreak Kid. He died of natural causes at the age of 92. We also lost Little Richard, one of the pioneers of rock and roll. Little Richard came to prominence in 1956 with Tutti Frutti, and followed that up with songs like Long Tall Sally, Rip It Up, Lucille, and Good Golly Miss Molly. Born Richard Wayne Penniman on December 5th, 1932, in Macon, Georgia, he became a teen idol. In 1986, he became one of the first 10 inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 1993 Grammys. Now, MST3K fans will remember him for his appearance in the Catalina Caper episode. Little Richard passed away from bone cancer in Nashville, Tennessee. He was 87 years old. And that brings us to the end of the sci-fi news. Now, be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute to the show, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to our Coffee, Patreon, and now glow.fm links as well. Or just go over to Multiverse Tonight and hit the Support Me link at the top of the page. And be sure to visit multiversetonight.com to check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to the TeePublic store, now with masks, show notes, and so much more. If you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends, and if you're brand new to the show, please hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, leave us with some nice feedback and let us know how we're doing. Special thanks to Shane Ivers for our intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks or 2 days with the comic book edition. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half Big Genre Productions. Copyright 2020. All rights reserved. That is a good question. Let me check something out here real quick while we're between episodes. A second, I gotta change my mini deck here. Let's go to my audio mixer. Let's try down mix to mono. How's that sound for you? Yeah. We'll try that, and we'll see if, you know. Mem Streamer, are you still there? Does this sound better now? Let's go back to this. How does this sound? Hold on here. I think I had someone just come to the door. Hold on. Hey, my wife will be happy. Well, that was her Oriole feeder from Amazon. Yeah. She wants to attract Orioles. Yeah. Anyway, let's go on. Do the comic book news. Right, having her drink. Okay. Tonight, Swamp Thing rises again. Mark Waid and Neil Adams join their powers for the first time, and we take a moment to remember Martin Pasco, All that and more on the comic book edition of Multiverse tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 77 of Multiverse Tonight, the comic book edition. So how's the past couple of weeks been? For me, it's been interesting. I bought myself the newest car I've ever had. It's a 2014 Ford Focus hatchback. It's nice. It's a mineral gray color. Got plenty of room. It's got everything I need. Perfect. And my health is as well, and I hope yours is too. Now, comic books are slowly coming back. Stores are slowly starting to reopen. It's like a delayed spring, which is funny because the weather is almost the summer. Anyway, things are going okay for now. Are things great? No. I think people are adjusting. Now, for me, things are, I like, Anyway, let's go on to the comic book news. Yeah, that'll get cut in post. Are you ready for Batman to get darker? According to one of the stars of the Batman, Andy Serkis, get ready for darker. Speaking with LED Bible, Serkis said that the movie will be more intense than previous DCU movies and that his Alfred Pennyworth and Bruce Wayne will have a real emotional connection at the center of the script. He also said that his Alfred will be a very different take from previous versions, saying, quote, he, Kane, was fantastic. His Alfred was legendary. I couldn't even begin to go there, really. You find it for yourself. It's like playing these iconic roles in Shakespeare. You go back, you revisit them, and you have to make it your own. And I see what it is about the character that connects with you and your personal Venn diagram, unquote. Now, Andy also revealed that they were about halfway finished when production was halted due to the pandemic, and a restart has yet to be set. I really don't want a darker Batman. I just want Detective Batman. Can we get that instead, please? I just want Batman. You have an action setup at the beginning of the film. A mystery develops. He has to solve the mystery, and you can have little action sequences interspersed in there, and then you get to the end where you have the big villain reveal, the big fight. He arrests them, throws them in Arkham instead of killing them, and there you go. That would be my ideal Batman movie. We've really yet to get there. So, maybe this time. Who knows? Now, Swamp Thing has always been able to rise from the swamps. Now, he's arisen from cancellation, as the CW has picked up the series from DC Universe. Now, no details have been given as to new production on new episodes or, any really meaty details. So, watch this space. While we're talking about DC Universe shows, Season 2 of Doom Patrol will be coming to both DC Universe and HBO Max on June 25th. The first episode of the season sees, quote, DC's strangest group of heroes, Cliff Steele, aka Robot Man, Larry Trainer, aka Negative Man, Rita Farr, aka Elasti-Woman, Jane, aka Crazy Jane, and Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, are back again to save the world. That is, if they can find a way to grow up, both figuratively and literally. Following the defeat of Mr. Nobody, the members of the Doom Patrol now find themselves mini-sized and stranded on Cliff's toy race car track. Here they begin to deal with their feelings of betrayal by Niles Calder, aka the Chief, while confronting their own personal baggage. And as each member faces the challenge of growing beyond their own past traumatic experiences, they must come together to embrace and protect the newest member of the family, Dorothy Spinner, Niles' daughter, whose powers remain mysterious but a real threat to bring about the end of the world. Unquote. Sounds interesting. I would love to watch this series, but again, I have more than enough streaming services to add DC Universe on top of that. Yeah. Neil Gaiman's The Sandman is coming to Audible, and it's a bit of an all-star cast. James McAvoy will provide the voice of Morpheus, also known as Dream of the Endless. Dream's sister, Death, is played by Kat Dennings. Taron Egerton takes on the role of John Constantine. Andy Serkis is Matthew the Raven. Michael Sheen will be playing Lucifer. Bebe Neuwirth is the Siamese Cat. Riz Ahmed plays the nightmare called the Corinthian. Gaiman will serve as the narrator, with supporting cast like Justin Vivian Bond as Desire, Arthur Darvill as William Shakespeare, William Hope as Dr. Destiny, Matthew Horn as Hob Gadling, Reginald D. Hunter as John Jones, Sue Johnston as Unity Kincaid, Patterson Joseph as the Demon Chronozon, Josie Lawrence as Mad Hetty, Anton Lesser as Dr. Donald Hathaway, Joanna Lumley as Lady Johanna Constantine, and Miriam Morgels as Despair. The cast will be adapting the first 3 Sandman graphic novels, with Dirk Maggs directing the adaptation. Here's the official blurb, quote, "When the Sandman, also known as Lord Morpheus, the immortal king of dreams, stories, and imagination, is pulled from his realm and imprisoned on Earth by a nefarious cult, he languishes for decades before finally escaping. Once free, he must retrieve the 3 tools that will restore his power and help him to rebuild his dominion, which has deteriorated in his absence. As the multi-threaded story unspools, the Sandman descends into hell to confront Lucifer, chases rogue nightmares who have escaped his realm, and crosses paths with an array of characters from DC comic books, ancient myth, and real-world history, including inmates of Gotham City's Arkham Asylum, the Muse Calliope, Dr. Destiny, the 3 Fates, William Shakespeare, and many, many more." Unquote. The Sandman audio drama will debut on Audible on July 15th. This is Audible. Now, some sad news. Last week I told you about the Flash actors. Some sad news. The Flash actor, Logan Williams, I told you about how he passed away a few episodes ago, died at the age of 16 just last month, died of an overdose of the opioid fentanyl. His mother revealed to the New York Post that her son had been battling addiction for 3 years. She told the outlet, quote, "His death is not going to be in vain. He's going to help a lot of people down the road," unquote. Now, if you or someone you love is addicted to opioids, get help. In the United States, call 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-HELP. Now, the CW has revealed its fourth quarter 2020 primetime schedule. And some things to note are Tuesday, we'll see Swamp Thing, followed by Tell Me a Story. Wednesday, we'll see two-sentence horror stories, followed by Dead Pixels and Coroner. Thursday will be Supernatural and The Outpost. Now, some new series coming this fall, Superman and Lois. Here's the blurb on that. In Superman Lois, after years of facing maniacal supervillains, monsters wreaking havoc on Metropolis, and alien invaders intent on wiping out the human race, the world's most famous superhero, the Man of Steel, aka Clark Kent, Tyler Hoechlin, and comic book's most famous journalist, Lois Lane, Elizabeth Tulloch, come face to face with one of the greatest challenges ever, dealing with all the stress, pressures, and complexities that come with being working parents in today's society. Complicating the already daunting task of raising 2 boys, Clark and Lois must also concern themselves with whether or not their sons Jonathan and Jordan could inherit their father's Kryptonian superpowers as they grew older. Returning to Smallville to handle some Kent family business, Clark and Lois are reacquainted with Lana Lang, played by Emanuela Chikru, a local loan officer who happens to be Clark's first love, and her fire chief husband, Kyle Cushing. The adults aren't the only ones discovering new friendships in Smallville, as the Kent sons get reacquainted with Lana Kyle's rebellious daughter, Sarah. Of course, there's never a dull moment in the life of a superhero, especially when Lois's father, General Samuel Lane, looking for Superman to vanquish a villain or save the day at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, Superman and Lois return to the idyllic Smallville. Meanwhile, Superman and Lois's return to the idyllic Smallville is about to be upended when a mysterious stranger enters their lives. Based on Superman Lois, written by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, it being produced by, of course, Greg Berlanti. Now, also coming to the CW is a reimagining of Walker, Texas Ranger, starring Jared Padalecki from Supernatural as Cordell Walker. And mid-season, we'll see Kung Fu. A quarter-life crisis causes a young Chinese-American woman, Nikki Shen, to drop out of college and go on a life-changing journey to an isolated monastery in China. But when she returns to San Francisco, she finds her hometown is overrun with crime and corruption, and her own parents are at the mercy of the powerful triad. Yeah. So forth, so on. Of course, Greg Berlanti's in a part of that. Also coming in mid-season is The Republic of Sarah, the bucolic tranquility of Greylock, New Hampshire. Is upended when a massive vein of coltan, an incredible valuable mineral used in tech, is discovered under the town. State-backed mining company Lydian Industries swoops in and plans to extract the mineral, plans that include wiping Greylock off the map. Teen angst. You know, you love it. Now, the CW's new season primetime schedule will be effective January 2021. On Monday will be All American, followed by Black Lightning. On Tuesday will be The Flash, followed by Superman and Lois. Wednesday we'll see Riverdale, followed by Nancy Drew. Thursday, Walker, followed by Legacies. And Friday we'll see Penn and Teller Fool Us and 2 episodes of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Sunday we'll see Batwoman, followed by Charmed. Sounds fun. I again don't have a lot of time. I wish I had more time to watch the DC superhero shows, but time is constant, and that's the one thing you always run out of. Now let's go on to some Marvel news. Rob Liefeld, creator of Deadpool and lots of other things, is someone who likes to share frequently his opinions. Now, speaking with comicbooks.com and their podcast, Talking Shop, it's been 2 years since Deadpool 3, so what's the holdup on the third one? Now, Rob puts the blame on Marvel, saying, quote, "I blame Marvel. Blame Marvel that hasn't happened yet. They are the reason it isn't happening. Whatever conundrum or it didn't fit into your master plan, just commission it, okay? Commission it. You know, if Frank Frazetta was still around, you'd say, Frank, paint it for me. If Ryan Reynolds is making Deadpool 3 right now, that's just because Marvel hasn't allowed it to be yet. And that's all I'm saying." He added, "So, do I have a lot of faith in that system? Dude, I have no idea. So this is where I'm not that. I'm not giving you the answers you want. I'm like, yeah. Look, if it happens, terrific," unquote. Yeah. Now, Liefeld also had thoughts on Hugh Jackman and whether he should return to the cinematic X-Men franchise. When asked if he would like to see another actor in the role, he said in an interview with Inverse.com, quote, "I'm stuck on Hugh Jackman. Having met Hugh, having loved Hugh, there is only one Deadpool because of Wolverine. I was doing Deadpool in the comics to get to Wolverine. Wolverine was always the goal," unquote. Well, I guess that does raise the question, who would your choice for a new Wolverine be? That's hard. That's very hard. Now, let's go on to something we'll get to see? Question mark. Fox's final X-Men production, The New Mutants, has been given a theatrical release date of August 28th in the year 2020. Or will it? This movie has been in the can for more than 2 years now. First, it was slated for release in April of 2018, then got pushed back to February of last year, then got pushed back to August of 2019. Fox was then sold to Disney, and it was moved to April 3rd of 2020. And then the pandemic hit. Yep, it's been a long, strange trip. Maybe Disney should just, cut its losses and put it out on Disney Plus and digital. Do they really think this will be a great moneymaker? Really? For all we know, it's great. For all we know, it's terrible. We don't know yet. Marvel Entertainment is shuttering its digital comics shop. The publisher, in an email to subscribers, announced that digital comics purchased on the site will be automatically available under your account in the Marvel Comics app. The company is also integrating a function where you can sync up the Marvel mobile app with your Comixology account so that your purchases are made available both mobile and on a computer without having to double dip and buy it twice. Now, this is an interesting move considering that Marvel and DC have been pushing digital really hard during the pandemic. So it's really kind of interesting for them to just decide, oh, well, we're done with that. Gone. Now, speaking of comics, actual comics, Marvel Comics have announced a brand new series teaming up writer Mark Waid with artist Neil Adams for the first time ever. The series, titled Fantastic Four Antithesis, will introduce a new villain as well as giving Adams a crack at the Silver Surfer. Mark, in a statement, said, quote, "Working with Neil Adams has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. To share the page with a man of his talent is an honor." The story begins with the Fantastic Four struggling to prevent an extinction event on Earth, and just goes more cosmic from there. We all know of Galactus, but until now, no one has met his antithesis. Adams added, quote, we have always had the sense of missing the chance to draw the Fantastic Four. It was a quiet sense. Since I've had every opportunity to do my favorites, more I felt Kurt and Buscema had done it all, haven't they? When Marvel's Tom Brevoort asked if I'd like to do the Fantastic Four, I knew I had to ask for Galactus and the Silver Surfer as well. I am humbled and thankful to Tom for the opportunity, unquote. Here's the official synopsis, quote, the soaring sentinel of the spaceways may have finally met his match in the all-new series Fantastic Four Antithesis. The first full-length Fantastic Four story ever illustrated by industry legend Neil Adams. Adams is joined by Eisner Award-winning writer Mark Waid, who jam-packs this tale with a fan-favorite roster of Fantastic Four heroes and villains. Together, this celebrated creative team created a new nemesis for the Fantastic Four, guaranteed to send shockwaves throughout all of fandom. Who or what is Antithesis? And will the combined might of the Fantastic Four, the Silver Surfer, and Galactus himself be enough to defeat it? Find out more when Fantastic Four Antithesis #1 hits comic shops in August, unquote. I'll just be more impressed that people know what the word antithesis means. That's a $4 word right there. Anyway, let's go on to the geek news. We start geek news with Disney Plus's new short-form improvisational comedy series, Muppets Now. It's been finally given a time frame for its premiere on the streaming service. Now, buried in a press release for the Disney Family Sing-Along Volume 2 was mentioned, quote, Fans of the Muppets can also see more of Kermit, Miss Piggy, and friends in the upcoming Disney Plus series Muppets Now, premiering this summer. Unquote. Well, I guess that's better than the nebulous soon. Now, in an update on the Spawn Kickstarter, if you'll remember, in a past episode I talked about how Todd McFarlane was raising money on Kickstarter to make a brand new Spawn action figure. Well, that Kickstarter finished with $3.4 million. Congratulations, Todd, and all those who backed him. It wasn't me. A new Smurfs video game is in the works from game publisher Microids and developer Osam Studio. The game will be a 3D action-adventure game with a brand new story inspired by the comics of the Smurfs creator, Peyo. In a statement, Microids Vice President Elliot Grassano said, quote, "We're delighted for concluding this new partnership with IMPS. Thanks to this transgenerational license and the talent of Osam Studios, a longtime Microids partner studio which worked on several family games, we are confident in bringing together all gamers in the wonderful world of the Smurfs." Now, he went on to say, the worldwide success met by the Smurfs will also allow us to increase our brand awareness overseas and position Microids as a major player internationally, unquote. I don't know. Is there a real calling for a Smurfs game? I seem to remember there was a Smurfs game on the NES way back when. I think I played that at least once. Rented it. Way back when you can rent video games. But I don't know. Maybe it's just not something that's up my alley at the moment. Anyway, the Mallrats sequel, Twilight of the Mallrats, has a new actor. As Kevin Smith tweeted that actress Ferna Burrell will star in the movie, Smith tweeted, quote, "Ferna will play Brody Bruce's daughter, Banner Bruce, in the movie. I hope to shoot next Twilight of the Mallrats," unquote. Now, Smith already confirmed that Shannon Doherty will be back to play Renee. Now, earlier this year, Shannon revealed that she has stage 4 cancer. And I'd like to end tonight remembering someone who you've probably seen his work, but you didn't realize it. Tonight we remember comic and TV writer Martin Pasco, who passed away on May 10th. He was born in Quebec in 1954 and started his comic writing career in 1972, writing for Superman, DC Comics Presents, Superman Family, Justice League of America, Wonder Woman, and Saga of the Swamp Thing. He would also write for Disney Comics' Roger Rabbit comic and Marvel's Gargoyles and Star Trek. Now, his TV work began in the 1980s, writing for shows like Max Headroom, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, and a bunch of others. He worked on Batman, the animated series as well, and the Batman movie, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. And on the show, he won a Daytime Emmy for his work. In a Facebook post, former DC President Paul Levitz wrote, "The odds are you've read his work, credited or not, or enjoyed a comic or a cartoon or TV show or even a theme park event he made better, even as he relentlessly complained about the difficulties of making it as good as it should be. Marty didn't have a genius for making anything easy, especially for him, but he was a real genius for making creative magic," unquote. Martin Pasco was 65 years old. And that brings us to the end of the comic book news. Now, be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute, anything to the show, money or otherwise, please visit mtpodcast.com. That's the letter M, the letter T, podcast.com, to go to the Coffee, Patreon, and Glow.fm links as well. Or just go over to Multiverse Tonight and hit the Support Me link at the top of the page. And be sure to visit multiversetonight.com and check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to the TeePublic store, the show notes, and so much more. every once in a while I do try to write a thought or a review or something. It's not very often. I'm a busy man. I work 40 hours a week, so it's something I might work on in my spare time. Anyway, now if you're a subscriber to the podcast, thank you very much. Be sure to share us with a friend or two. And if you're brand new to the show, hit the subscribe button. What you got to lose? Leave us, and if you want to leave us with some feedback in any app, Apple Podcasts, anything with a review, YouTube, whatever, go ahead, leave us with some feedback. I don't know what I'm doing unless you tell me how good I'm doing or how bad I'm doing. I'll take damning praise. It's better than no praise at all sometimes. Now, special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Now, thanks for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new sci-fi edition. Now, please, exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions, copyright 2020. All rights reserved. All right, if you're out there, I can hear you breathing. No, I can't. If you're out there, thanks for tuning in. My thanks, and enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your month, year, whatever. And please be sure to stay safe. Good night.